the calendar turns to June, the Houston Astros return to Minute Maid Park for a 6-game homestand against the top 2 teams in the National League Central. It all begins tonight with a flashback Friday against the first-place Cincinnati Ball Club. Reds and Astros are next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the Astros open a 6-game homestand. It's the first of 3 against the first-place Cincinnati Reds. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros getting home in the wee hours with a 1-6 record on that road trip, and now taking on the top 2 teams in the division, JD.
To quote John Denver, hey, it's good to be back home again because the Astros got thumped in Colorado. We'll take a look at some numbers for the Astros in the month of May. They're pitching here at home very, very good. So looking to duplicate that here in this homestand. 11-5, 2.76 home ERA for the pitchers, but on the road a much uglier story. 2-10, 5.07. A lot of that damage done in that 4-game set in Colorado where they gave up 40 runs.
Tonight, as the Reds come to town, the Astros have a lot going on this weekend. Fireworks after the game tonight on Flashback Fridays. They'll be wearing the orange striped uniforms. The Rainbows are coming up next.
The Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Minute Maid Park. The exterior, the interior is going to be extremely colorful tonight. It's rainbow jersey night as we turn back the clock to the 70s, and we celebrate it today. There you see Jose Altuve, all decked out in the most colorful uniforms in baseball history. Team has not yet taken the field, and they will be taking the field, and so let's take it upstairs. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thank you very much, Greg. You see Brad Mills there with the umpiring crew. Jim Joyce is the crew chief. Jim Reynolds, Dan Isagna, and James Hoy on the umpiring crew. They are looking out and going over the ground rules as the Astros take the field. And we'll take a look at Dusty Baker's starting lineup for his first place Reds, who are 28-22 with a .560 winning percentage. Brought to you by Hyundai. Zach Cozart, shortstop. Drew Stubbs, center field. Joey Votto, first base. Brandon Phillips, second base. Jay Bruce of Beaumont, Texas, right field. Chris Heisey, left field. Todd Frazier, third base. Devin Mesoraco, catcher. Mike Leake, pitcher.
Left-hander Jay Happ works for the Astros tonight. And you look at his last 3 outings, solid work. Just 3 runs total allowed in 18 1/3 innings Sunday in L.A. He was a loser despite pitching well, 6 1/3, 9 hits. He allowed 2 runs, tied his career high with those 10 punch-outs, walked a couple of Dodgers in that ball game. Jay takes the mound tonight with a 4-4 record and with a defense behind him that looks like this. Left to right in the outfield, Martinez, Schaefer, Bogasevic. Third to first on the infield, Johnson, Lowry, Altuve, Lee, Chris Snyder is behind the plate. Looking rather Alan Ashby-like back there in that rainbow.
Yes. Carlos Lee warming up at first as the Astros are back home for the first of 3 with the Reds. Then the Cardinals are in next Tuesday through Thursday nights. The Astros have played very well here at home this season. They've won 16 and lost 10. And they're 10-7 within the division. They are 7-1 at home against the NL Central teams. They lost 2 of 3 in Cincinnati earlier this season. The Reds just came from Pittsburgh, where they lost 2 of 3, but they won 9 of their last 12, and they're on a 6-game road trip. They finished the month of May with a 17-11 record, and facing Jay Happ, who's won in one lifetime against Cincinnati. The Reds are 12th in runs scored in the National League, but they have pitched pretty well, and their bullpen is really a weapon. Batting average against their relievers is .200.
And they really are a pretty balanced bunch this year, this Reds team. The pitching has been good, starting and relieving. Offense is fueled by primarily home run hitters. They don't have a bunch of high on base guys. Votto, of course, the guy that does it all, but they hit a lot of home runs.
Zach Cozart takes strike 1 from Jay Happ. .236 is Cozart's average. That includes 5 homers, 12 runs batted in. He's played in all but 1 of the first 50 games for the Reds prior to tonight. Fouls that one, and it's no balls, 2 strikes for Happ. Jay with a 4-4 record, a 4.37 ERA. At home, he's 4-2 with a 3.82.
He's getting more ground balls this year than he's gotten in the past.
The appeal went to first. There's a check swing call by Jim Reynolds.
He's striking people out at a high rate, too. Better than a strikeout per inning pitch so far.
He had a 10 strikeout game against the Dodgers on Sunday. That one's hit foul. Stubbs and Votto will follow in the Reds' first inning. Well, the Astros had major problems getting the Rockies out in the first inning in that 4-game series. And as a result, they're trying to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight. 2-hopper goes out to Lowry, and Lowry takes it over to Lee for out number 1.
Is that Lowry or is that Craig Reynolds out there?
You know, it just didn't look like Lowry with a different uni on. Okay, Craig Reynolds makes the first play. There's a look.
That would be the real flashback game, right? Run guys out there with old players' names on their jerseys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Garner, Reynolds, Dorn, and Davis on the infield.
Yeah. Now Drew Stubbs, native of Texas, at .233 with 6 homers, has 14 runs batted in. .296 on base average. Has good power, though.
Although this would be more of a 70s look with the rainbow. Because when I came along, we didn't have the numbers on the pants, and we didn't have the orange hats.
The numbers on the pants, I think, are more of a 70s version. You're right.
We'll turn El Caballo into the bull. We'll just change him from the horse to the bull. Yeah.
Some players just look different in the different uniforms. Stubbs hits it out of play. And it's a 1-2 count to Drew, 27 years old, from Texarkana, Texas, and the University of Texas.
Stubbs, he's an interesting guy. We talk a lot about him the last couple of years. Hits for power, has speed, but he's a low on base guy. Dusty likes him at the top of the order because of his speed. He's had him lead off a bunch, but now in the 2-hole. Boy, if they could ever get some high on base guys in front of Votto, they would really take off.
Yes. It's been noted that Drew Stubbs is a very consistent runner, home to first, runs hard all the time. Dusty Baker had quite a career. 11 for 70 against JR. Well, JR had a lot of depressed batting averages against him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Great day for JR. Out on the sidewalk, inducted into the Walk of Fame. And he'll be joining us a little bit later. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Stubbs. The Reds are 13th in walks. Rather aggressive bunch. That's strike 3. 2 outs.
Good start for Jay Happ, who flew home early yesterday. The Astros rolled in about, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. There's a fastball right on the knees over the heart of the plate to finish off Stubbs. So it was a late night for the club arriving from Denver, but not Jay. He flew out early, so he's well rested.
Joey Votto's next. There's strike 1 to Votto, who's hit .405 at Minute Maid Park in his career. 325, 8 homers, 29 runs batted in. Look at that OPS.
He's one of the guys for sure in all of baseball, one of the premier hitters. Especially in this division now with Pujols and Fielder having moved along. He is the man.
291 against lefties. Close pitch
yeah,
there.
Everybody go to the dugout. Let's go.
We're gone.
You got to be kidding me.
1-2.
Must not be a strike on Canadians. What is that? There's a little international diplomacy there from Jim Joyce.
The exchange rate has been moving around with the strike zone. There's a line drive to left that's in for a hit. Votto's aboard with a 2-out single. That gives him a 19-game hitting streak at Minute Maid Park.
Jim was guessing ball there on 0-2.
Just a short jab stroke. That's what he does so well. Rock line drives all over the park. Uses left field and left center extremely well.
Well, if he's in hitter's count, he'll take a big swing and try to juice the ball. If he's down in the count, he's willing to shorten his stroke and just try to hit a line drive somewhere.
That gets Brandon Phillips to the plate with a .273 average, 5 homers, 25 runs batted in for Phillips. Votto and Phillips both signing contract extensions. There's ball 1. Phillips will turn 31 late this month. He's been sidelined with some injuries this year. Strained left hamstring. Reds have lost 3 of their last 4 at Minute Maid Park.
Phillips 5 out of 9 in his career with 3 home runs off of Jay Happ.
He rocks one to left field. That sends Martinez back as far as he can go. That bangs off the wall. Played by Schaefer. Votto's being sent home. Here's the relay to the plate and the tag, and he's safe. RBI double for Phillips. 1-0 Reds.
And the Astros, who really gave it up in the first inning in that series in Colorado, looked like they had a 1-2-3. That 2-strike fastball to Votto looked like it was right there. Called the ball. He gets a base hit. Phillips makes Happ pay. And again, his good work off Jay Happ continues. Making 6 out of 10 now. Just missing his 4th home run off Jay by a couple of feet.
Altuve made the relay throw.
Get a good look here. Just a little bit high and a little bit tardy. Kind of took Snyder out of a position where he would have been able to block home plate. Had to kind of reach up for that ball.
Jay Bruce of Beaumont takes strike 1. 260 is his average, including 11 homers, 32 runs batted in for Bruce. Bruce had a big series against the Astros in Cincinnati at the end of April with 5 hits, and he homered in all 3 games in that series. Sharply hit into right field. Phillips is coming to the plate, and the throw is cut off. It's 2-0. Bruce gets RBI number 33. 3 straight 2-out hits. Dusty Baker's crew up by a couple. Ryan Ludwig will be next.
Breaking ball trying to go down and away from Bruce, but it stayed on the inner half. Carlos was tight to the line.
Bruce aboard, and it's Ludwig ready to step up with 5 homers, 20 runs batted in, and a .206 average. He's hit .270 with a homer and 5 runs batted in his last 7 starts. He's sharing left field with Chris Heisey. Bruce attracts some attention there at first.
Reds don't do a lot of base running. Bruce is 3 for 3 in steals. Ashby's been throwing well this year. Good changeup.
Strike 1 to Ludwig.
Fastball, curveball, slider change from Jay. He'll throw both a 4 and 2-seam fastball, and maybe the use of that 2-seam fastball that's allowed him to get more ground ball outs this year than in the past.
Jay faced the Reds 3 times last year. This is his first look at them this year. Grounder to Chris Johnson. Over to Altuve for the force on Bruce. And it's 2 runs, 3 hits, and a man left. Reds 2, Astros coming up. Come up with this Hyundai starting lineup for Brad Mills. Jordan Schaefer center field, Jose Altuve second base, Jed Lowry shortstop, Carlos Lee first base, Chris Johnson third base, Brian Bogasevic right field, J.D. Martinez left field, Chris Snyder catcher, Jay Happ pitching.
Mike Happ on the mound for the Cincinnati. Or Mike Happ, Mike Leake. Mike Leake on the hill for the Reds. Hey, nobody got any sleep last night.
Nope.
Give me a break.
Right.
First round pick of the Reds in 2009, and despite a high ERA, he's been pitching well lately. Last time out, he didn't go very long. It's 3 2/3. Probably not going to be able to get Terry Poole out, though.
No, can't get Terry Poole out. He hit a leadoff opening day homer against Cincinnati off Tom Seaver back in 1979 or so. So they can't even
factoid.
They can't even think about getting Terry Poole out. 2 balls, no strikes to Terry Poole or Jordan Schaefer. 262, 2 homers, 13 driven in. And he smacks that one foul.
Todd Frazier really creeping in from third base. We saw Pacheco, the third baseman for the Rockies, do it, and Jordan slapped the ball right by him in Denver. And I suspect that Frazier will back off now that it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Leake a finesse guy. Fastball 88, 89 miles an hour. He'll cut it. He'll sink it. He'll throw you a slider, a curve, and a change. And now he's going to try to throw a high one.
He does.
High cutter.
Good call, JD.
But I'm real observant when I see the catcher hold that mitt up over the umpire's face. There's a pretty good chance they're going to throw it upstairs.
2-2. And now a full count. Schaefer had a good series in Colorado, 7 for 19. And he wound up hitting .348 on the road trip despite that right big toe problem. Fouled another ball off it today in BP. In the air, and the right fielder moves in, Jay Bruce. In fact, Schaefer put on a catcher's shin guard after fouling that ball off his foot.
He needs to just put a big metal plate on his toe. Here are the Reds, defensively, pretty solid defensive team. Phillips, boy, he's a tremendous defender there at second. Votto, solid. Cozart, the youngster, has only made 4 errors so far. Stubbs and Bruce, good outfielders. Ludwig maybe a step slow, but not an issue in this ballpark in left field. Frazier getting a lot of playing time now. Scott Rowland has been on the shelf.
Jose Altuve has back-to-back 3-hit games for the first time in his career. There's ball 1. Up to 317 with 3 homers, 18 runs batted in, 63 hits. Tied for 5th in the league. Altuve went 8 for 20 against the Rockies for a .400 average and hit .353 on the road trip. He has just been spraying hits all over the place. Frazier's in tied at third. Showing bunt. He looks at a strike from Leake. 2 balls, 1 strike. Leake and Happ squared off twice last year. Leake won in Cincinnati, and he lost later on in Cincinnati. Foul ball off the leg of Mesoraco. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leake just 24 years old, a 12-game winner last year. The shortstop Cozart makes that play for out number 2. And it's Jed Lowry.
Well, the Reds with an off day yesterday, so they should be well rested. Their bullpen ready to go. And just the opposite for the Astros.
Lowry at .283 with 8 homers has 21 runs batted in. Preparations are being made in the Astros radio booth for Carlos Lee's at bat. We'll tell you about that if Carlos gets up here in the first inning. That's strike 1 for Leake. Lowry has a club leading .482 slugging percentage. He went 6 for 15 in Colorado with a homer. In tight to him. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Jed. In fact, only 1 shortstop in the National League has a higher slugging percentage than Lowry. And he also has a good on base average. This one goes to right field. Jay Bruce coming over. Mike Leake has a 1-2-3 first, and it's 2-0 Cincinnati.
May Park is tomorrow. Lot C will be open for tailgating at 3 p.m. and you'll be able to bring in your grill, food, and beverages and tailgate before the 6:15 game against the Reds. Limited parking passes are available, so route now and get your pass at astros.com/tailgate. Why has that not been thought of before, guys?
Not sure, Patty.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
But it's here tomorrow. You'll be out there, I'm sure. Todd Frazier leads it off, 2-0 Reds. There's strike one. So with the 2 first-inning runs, the Reds just add to the first-inning woes for Astros pitchers. They've allowed 17 first-inning runs in the last 5 games. 268 for Frazier with 5 homers. That's a strike. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've seen a lot of umpires. They call the count. They'll be a little generous early, but they don't want to ring guys up unless it's over the heart of the plate. They like to see hitters swing. And I'm not saying that's the case with Jim Joyce. I'm just arguing that I think he missed that one call, and maybe he didn't. You know, it's just one call. It's just unfortunate the way it broke down for Happ. It's the Jim crew: Jim Joyce, Jim Reynolds, James Hoy, Dan Isogna.
Yeah. Todd Frazier administered the Heimlich maneuver in Pittsburgh just a few days ago, and there was a choking diner, and 2 fellow restaurant patrons tried to administer that maneuver and failed. So Todd jumped up and went over and did it successfully.
He's been on a roll. He had a home run throwing his bat the other day too, and he's getting a lot of national attention because when he comes up to hit in Cincinnati, they play Sinatra. He's from I don't know if he's from Hoboken, but he's from that area of New Jersey.
Point Pleasant, it says.
They're in the hood. They're nearby where Sinatra was from.
Okay. Went to Rutgers after playing for the Toms River Little League World Series champs in '98. Interesting resume for Mr. Frazier.
Well, that's where the Lighter boys are from, at Toms River.
Yeah.
Little League. Those kids can play there, boy.
Frazier's 26. Lowry takes care of out number 1. Astros starting pitchers have been on a rough ride the last few games. They could use a nice long outing from Jay Happ. Devin Mesoraco is the batter now. Good looking young catcher. Mesoraco is hitting .209. He has 3 homers, 8 runs batted in, working really hard with the pitching staff, getting good results. Like his take charge qualities. There's strike 1 to Mesoraco. In his last 3 appearances, he's hit a couple of homers and driven in 5 runs. Hit a grand slam against the Braves. In the air, and this one goes to right center. Bogusevic, 2 outs. Happ got the first 2 outs in the first inning. Now he's facing anything but a pushover in the number 9 spot. Mike Leake. This guy can hit, JD.
Yeah, he's got the best batting average on the club.
375, 6 for 16. He has a homer, a double, and an OPS of 1,000.
He should be leading off.
Wouldn't that be something? Strike 1 to Leake. That'd be fun to see a pitcher leading off.
Why not?
Couldn't come up with a good reason. Baseball conventions say no.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Can't do that. No balls, 2 strikes. The Reds can be a very explosive offensive club. Leake swings and misses and is tagged out on the strikeout, number 2 for Happ. J.R. Richard will come into our booth and we'll hear from him in just a moment. J.R. Richard joining us. So we've got a little subplot going on, too, with Carlos Lee coming up in the bottom of the second inning because J.R. was just next door in the Astros radio booth with Milo Hamilton. Milo is going to put on a hard hat. Going to put on a construction helmet, we understand, from the opening of Minute Maid Park back in 2000. Dave Raymond doing the honors to protect himself against the Carlos Lee foul ball. He's been really dodging the Carlos foul balls. In fact, that blue star had some damage as Carlos fouled the ball right off that on the last homestand. So
looks like Milo's not going to. He's going to shun the helmet. He's going to brave the elements and go after it anyway without the helmet.
J.R. Richard joining us. He steps in as Carlos Lee steps up against Mike Leake. And big day for J.R. with a plaque on the Walk of Fame outside the ballpark.
That's very good and very inspirational. I feel very good about it. I feel like, feel like being a part again, a part of the whole system again. Just it's a come alive type feeling, an atmosphere,
Take us back to when you were the second overall pick in the country growing up in Louisiana. You could have played some basketball too. Was it a difficult choice for you?
No, the only choice that was made, the reason to say it wasn't difficult because when I found out that I was getting a signing bonus to play, okay, look at all deals was off the table.
Carlos Lee opens with a single, and then what a pitcher. And as we saw in the ceremony, you're where you belong now, out with the greats in Astros history. Just a terrific day to welcome you into that group, that select group. What a marvelous career. As you look back on it, what stands out, JR?
What stands out is, first of all, I said what stands before I answer that question, just to being a part of the Houston Astros organization that was good and enlightening, and I was well received here, and can't say that much about the fans, with the appreciative things that they done, and like again, I said where I was accepted. I said one of the most important things, especially here in the ballpark, which I'm referring to the Astrodome, was winning the 20th game and hitting a home run.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 300 strikeout seasons.
Yes, that was good too. But I think I would have gotten it if I'd gotten a chance to extend that more than 200. I think I'd have done it. I don't know. I think I'd at least done about 3 or 4 more years.
Yeah.
Because I was just, to me, I feel like I was just getting into my prime.
Right.
First, I'm speaking of having control over my pitches and going where they was going where I wanted them to go and everything.
Deep drive to center, caught by Stubbs off the bat of Chris Johnson, who hit it well.
And my idea for hitting people is I didn't hit nobody. They just didn't get out of the way. So,
they got the option, right?
My mentality stayed good. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, pitchers say, well, I wasn't throwing at him. I was throwing to that spot, and he happened to be there.
That's right. And so I'm very clear on that for having that.
Your conscience is clear as far as.
No, quite easily.
Well, now, as far as the intimidation factor, 6'8" guy who can throw 100, that's intimidating enough. But did you feel like you still had to pitch inside with that?
Well, I didn't have to. I think because most times I could just wind up and it would serve a purpose. But, I never did throw that much inside. Of course, I use it a lot inside. It's just, it's not like it is today. And I don't know why pitchers, I can't understand. They don't throw inside, man. You throw inside to become effective.
Mm-hmm.
Because inside is supposed to set up for the outside pitch.
Exactly.
But I guess if you throw inside and you miss that inside portion you're trying to hit a couple of times, then okay. Then. Mm-hmm. You just got to give in. But no, I never gave in. I give out before I give in.
Now here's the first pitch tonight. Bobby Meacham. Whoa! You're not holding anything back. Meach couldn't get the glove up.
It was a cut fastball.
Yeah, the cutter, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You did not give him a break at all. Well, of course, all the strikeouts, the attendant publicity about the velocity, how hard you were to hit. You were a big figure in a lot of ways back in those days and how effective you were. But as you pointed out, the way you refined things, that 80 season, you really were putting it all together. So, yeah, your career
Definitely.
could have just been taking off at that point.
I think at that point, yeah, because I felt that, like I said before, that I hadn't even felt like that I hadn't reached my prime. And like I said, which I explained my prime is not, having more command over my pitches and throwing. And the only thing I was going to do is develop a changeup. If I could have developed a good changeup, I would have really been effective.
Yeah. Well, in 1980, you were, what, 30 years of age?
Yeah.
So it's reasonable to expect that you would have pitched another 7 or 8 years. Probably.
Yeah, at least.
Because you had a healthy arm. Your arm
yes.
Yeah.
My arm never hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were definitely on a Hall of Fame path. And, you know, as you look back on it now, JR, well, 10 years, that's a heck of a career.
It is, but I'm going to tell you, like somebody told me, I was just getting started.
You know, Joe Morgan's going in on the 22nd to the Walk of Fame, and you guys had so many great battles down through the years.
Yes.
When he was with the Reds. That was fun to watch.
Yes, it was. And I embraced the challenge.
You had such a great record against the Dodgers. Was that the kind of competition you enjoyed the most as far as the various clubs you faced?
Well, just like I told a guy I was talking today, I respected all of them. I didn't fear anybody, but I respected everybody. And it was that to the point. It was you and me. I beat you and you beat me. And my mentality was that you're not going to beat me. I'm not going to let you beat me.
And then 15 strikeouts in your major league debut.
Yes.
I mean, it's raising the bar kind of high.
Yeah, they said, where did this guy come from?
So apparently there wasn't a pitch count. Nobody's worried about 100 pitches and getting you out.
You're right.
Like,
And look at
big fella.
Yeah, the shade. That day, the sun was just kind of right here, and it had a shadow between home plate and the mound. And look at, I had some guys. Oh God, I'm glad this game over, man.
So you're just getting the top of your delivery, and the right-handed hitter's front foot is starting to slide down towards that third base dugout.
Richard Hapner from Pittsburgh told me that when I get through winding up, I was so close he could smell my breath. So that kind of made me think that was my breath that bad, or was I just that close?
Just kind of reaching out there.
Yes.
Bogusevic walk. Now J.D. Martinez as we visit with J.R. Richard, one of the Astros all-time greats. And there's a line shot to right field.
Good base hit.
Very good. That loads the bases as Martinez singles and brings up Snyder. Carlos to third.
Right. They got the bases drunk. Come on.
Well, we talk all the time about looking back at things like 1980, JR, and how close that team was to a World Series. And man, if you had been in that postseason rotation, that could have been the year.
Oh yeah, that would have been definitely Houston's year. That I do believe. Yeah, because I was prepared to put them on my back and carry them all the way to the house.
Snyder comes up. 320 with 2 grand slams in his career with the bases loaded. Now that was really an occasion when a team would come in for a 3-game series in the Astrodome, no matter what team it was, looking at the people they were going to be facing for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, the best thing at that time is I would not play this series because you could come in Houston. You had myself, Joe Negro, and Nolan Ryan. You could take a serious dip in your batting average.
0 for 16.
Yeah.
0 for 12 with 10 punch outs.
Yeah, he messed around and put some people in some slumps, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the hitters used to talk about that all the time. Well, a good series in Houston in 1980 is getting out of there with maybe 1 hit and not being hit by a pitch.
And alive.
Alive. 2 balls, no strikes.
But you know, Bob, just to throw this in, Bob Watson would not even take batting practice against him.
Really?
Because he said I would put him in a slump.
Yeah.
I said, man, I'm just laying it in there. He said, nah. Come on, baby.
2-0 pitch, yeah. And Snyder rolls one broken bat. It goes to first. Votto comes to the plate to get the force out on lead. And it's out number 2. JR, as you were growing up in Louisiana, of course you were dealing, you were just dominating. Did you get much pitching instruction?
None.
Okay.
The only thing I got, we didn't have a pitching coach. So, you know, our manager at the team, he didn't know anything about pitching or anything about teaching. So everything I learned, see, let me tell you, this is the honest to God truth. When I was in the country, I found a book on the side of the road, and it happened to be a baseball book. And I taught myself how to throw the slider.
Is that right?
I
Wow.
swear to God, I taught myself how to throw the slider.
Jay Happ, the batter.
You must have just been menacing in high school. Those kids, I mean, probably sent them home crying. I mean, stick a fastball in the ribs.
Have you ever watched the WWE when Vince McMahon come down there? No chance. He was like that, no chance.
Happ with a little roller, and it goes foul.
Stay foul. So, did they have a gun on you back in high school? Was that part of scouting back then, or did that not come along to you? Got professional baseball.
I don't even know, but I remember this. One night we was playing in a place called Frazier Field. Behind the backstop, scotch was everywhere. They had some chicken wire. I threw a ball through some chicken wire. So you can imagine that V right there.
You wouldn't need the radar gun at that point.
That's right.
How hard does that guy throw? I don't know, but it's hard enough to go through the fence.
Yeah, time to go.
And from that point on, they watch from first to third base.
Come on now, son. We need you to hit now.
It's strike three. Well, JR, thanks so much for your time. A big day for you, and really a big figure in Astros history.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Sir.
Yes, sir, it's always good to see you. Appreciate it.
Fan of the game, Betty DeBakey. Betty, you were able to throw out the first pitch today. Tell us a little bit about why you're out here and how much fun you had out there.
I'm a guest of Methodist Hospital, and they asked me if I'd be able to throw out the first pitch, and I said I'd be glad to. And I look forward to it all week since I found out. So.
Well, I know you're a huge Astro fan, and I got to compliment you on your form. You just whipped that thing in there underhand.
Yeah, that's what I do all the time.
And what was really pretty impressive after that, you got the autograph from Bobby Meacham. Then you walked over and you shared the kind of first pitch duties today with a legend, J.R. Richard. And I know you got to stand there and chat with him a little bit, too. How special was that for you?
That was really exciting. And he was waiting for that ball so he could sign my ball for me also. And it was a thrill.
Well, and you're just a teeny tiny little thing, and he's probably the largest man in the stadium. That was a little interesting to watch.
That was Jeff, what is it? Jeff and...
Mutt and Jeff?
Mutt and Jeff.
You're not, are you Mutt or Jeff?
No, I don't know.
Neither one. All right, well, you did a great job. Your form was great. I hope you enjoyed it, and you are a progressive fan of the game.
Thank you, and I also work with the All-Star ballots. And I've been doing pretty good with them now. I won't tell anybody how much I've put in, but I've got quite a bit in there.
All right, well, we won't tell everyone, but we will tell the fans to continue to vote Astros. Betty's our progressive fan of the game. Guys?
Thanks, Patty. Fun to meet Betty before the game. 3 balls and a strike. Cozart grounded out to short as he led off the game. And there's a leadoff walk. First walk of the day for Jay Happ, 23rd walk of the season for Jay, and now it'll be Stubbs batting.
He's been able to keep his walk rate down a little bit better this year as opposed to what happened in 2011 for him. Year, obviously, it was a tough go for him. Ended up with a demotion to AAA, but when he came back, he pitched well. And for the most part, this year, he's been pitching well. He's had a couple clunkers, but for the most part, pretty solid.
Stubbs struck out looking at a 3-2 offering. And the throw goes over. Well, the Reds had a good month of May, going 17-11, and they did it with a lot of good pitching with a 3.29 team ERA. That was their lowest for that month since 1997 in May. Out to center field, Schaefer. And with the tag at first, here's Cozart and Schaefer throwing, and Altuve off the bag and then trying to make the tag, but Cozart is able to get in safely at second base on out number 1.
Well, a good base running by the young shortstop Cozart. It's all about early recognition on a ball like that. That's what allowed him to get back to first base in time to tag up an advance. You see him hustling back, but he took a couple of steps after contact and then immediately retreated to the base. Great heads-up base running. And compare that base running there with what happened with Carlos on third on the ground ball to first, where he got a really bad break and wasn't able to score that run, and that's could be a difference maker.
Joey Votto lined a single to left field on an 0-2 pitch.
And, we had JR on at the time, so we didn't really address it, but I think what happened was the broken bat has actually kind of caused Carlos to flinch a little bit, and he didn't see the ball.
Lowry's behind the base runner, Cozart, as the ball is fouled. 1-1 to Votto. So with Votto's hit, taking his hitting streak in this ballpark to 19 games, he now has 50 career hits and 122 at bats at Minute Maid Park. And during that 19 game hitting streak here, he's gone 36 for 76. It's a 2-1 count for J. Happ. Bud Norris yesterday had to leave the game after 1 2/3 innings with a left hip flexor problem.
Yeah, he also had a Colorado Rocky problem. But one may have led to the other.
Kenny Lofton has the highest career batting average against the Astros, 373 for the former Astro. Bacon Pride second, Joey Votto third, tied with Tony Gwynn at 355. And there's another knock for him, and this will drive in Cozart to make it 3-0 on a Votto single, giving him 30 runs batted in.
He's replacing Albert Pujols as public enemy #1 here in Houston.
Well, he really is.
Like they were playing him to pull as they were for Bruce. A little bit surprising, especially when Votto hits the ball all over, especially against left-handers. But it looked to me like Altuve was kind of more towards the hole. And I don't know if he'd been playing just straight up, whether he would have been able to make a play on that ball or not.
Phillips had the RBI double to left center in the first inning.
So the aggressive heads-up base running by Cozart pays off.
Ground ball. Chris Johnson backhands, throws to Altuve. Altuve gets it on to Lee for a 5-4-3 double play. It's 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left, and in the middle of the third inning, the Reds lead it 3-0.
A chance to meet Jordan Schaefer, and as a special bonus, Jim DeShays as well at the Whataburger at Highway 6 and West Park Drive on Wednesday. They'll be signing autographs from 11 to noon, and while you're there, register to win the ultimate Whata-fan experience, which includes autographed memorabilia, sweet tickets, and a chance to throw out a first pitch. JD and Jordan Schaefer together Wednesday.
Little tap, and here goes Schaefer trying to beat it, but Leake is there to take the throw from Votto. And Leake almost got punched in the mouth by Jim Reynolds, who was giving that dramatic out sign at first.
We talked earlier about what a good hitter Leake is. He's just a very good athlete. Not so much his ability to get over there. A lot of guys could do that, but a lot of guys would muff this play with the footwork. Less agile guys. Leake was an outstanding soccer player as a kid. Tough play here, tough angle for Votto to make the throw, and then a good adjustment by Leake to get the speedy Schaefer.
Sure was. He was able to keep his body under control. Now Altuve showing bunt, taking strike one.
I don't think JR would have made that play. I guess when he would have missed the base. He would have struck out the side after it. But
you're right. One ball, one strike.
You gotta do what you do best.
That's it. And Leake is a good all-around athlete. 2 balls and a strike. Well, he played soccer, so that might help with the footwork.
Yeah.
Last year he worked 167 innings and tied Johnny Cueto with 18 quality starts for the Reds club lead. Known for his very good command of his pitches. 8th player drafted in the 09 draft. Little roller, and that will go foul.
First guy from that draft to get to the big leagues, right?
Yep.
Came right to the big leagues.
He made it right away. You're right.
And so, and again, that's when they drafted him. It's not like they viewed him as a top of the rotation type guy, but they just saw him as a fairly polished, a really polished college pitcher that could get to the big leagues and help. He doesn't have that overpowering fastball. A nice assortment of pitches. Obviously, that athleticism played into it too. I can play the whole game, help himself.
Yeah. He signed in August of 09. Altuve takes the curve, and that's strike 3 for Leake. That's his second strikeout. Didn't play in the 09 season, but made his debut in 2010.
Arizona State?
Yep.
U of A, one of those.
Arizona State.
He's throwing a couple of these slower breaking balls tonight, taking a page out of Bronson Arroyo's, but not quite as big and slow as Bronson will flip it up there every now and then.
Bronson will take a page out of his own book. Here's Sunday. He'll be pitching. Jed Lowry hit a fly ball to right field earlier. The Astros still have not announced their starter for Sunday, and they'll have to call up somebody from the minor leagues to start that game. Could be Jordan Lyles. There's ball 1. Wandy Rodriguez starts tomorrow night against Matt Latos. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count now. Brad Mills thinks Bud Norris will be okay to make his next start. Off speed makes it 2-1. Starting pitchers for tomorrow's Fox telecast are presented by Chevron with Tom Brenneman, Tom Verducci, Matt Latos 4-2 with a 4.58 ERA. Wandy Rodriguez 4-4 with a 2.49. 6 o'clock for the pregame on Fox. First pitch at 6:15. Tom Brenneman working next door in the Reds television booth. Tom Verducci was on Astros Live tonight. That'll be a good pairing for you for tomorrow night. And then we're back on the air Sunday at 12:30. We'll be talking some draft. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There was a press conference today with Astros GM Jeff Luhnow, Bobby Heck, who's in charge of the scouting. They would not talk about specific players. Fred Nelson and David Gottfried over there with Jeff. They talked a little bit about how the draft works. Bouncer goes foul, and what the crop is this year, that kind of thing. And somebody asked Jeff Luhnow, well, is this kind of a down year for the draft? He said, I wouldn't really characterize it that way. It might be down in some areas compared to other years, and it might not be in other areas.
Bill Verdon, Astros manager.
Well, Brad Mills said I think I look a little bit like Art Howe in this uniform.
I don't know. I like Doug Verdon.
Verdon could be good. Those glasses and that rainbow look. Yeah.
And kind of limited hair.
Square jaw.
Yeah.
I told him we'd try to get a shot of Art and put them side by side to see how the resemblance was. 2-2 to Lowry. And Leake misses inside. Ball 3. Leake has been much better from June 1st on so far in the early years of his career, with a 3.45 ERA from June through September.
Got him a day late.
Yep.
Would have kicked his butt yesterday.
That's his 8th pitch to Lowry, and it's ball 4. Second walk. The Reds, a very rested bunch, as you pointed out. They were here yesterday. Billy Hatcher went fishing.
I used to all the time at that low breaking ball. Where'd he go fishing? Out in the Gulf?
He didn't say. Carlos Lee singled to left field in the second inning. Then he was forced out at the plate. And the Astros loaded the bases with 1 out and could not cash in. Ball 1. With the month of May that they had for their pitching with a 3.29 ERA, that has put them in a good position at 28-22. In the middle of the pack in ERA by their starting pitchers.
Well, if you're in the middle of the pack in ERA and you pitch, your home games at the Great American Ballpark, then you're really doing something.
Yeah,
that's one of the better hitters parks in all of baseball. And the Reds, with that 1.5 lead over the Cardinals, Pirates hanging in there, playing 500 ball 3 back, and then you see Milwaukee, Houston, and Chicago. The bottom half of the division.
Throw goes over to first with a 2-0 count. Carlos Lee is 2 for 13 against Mike Leake in his career. Lee takes a look at it. It's 3-0 to El Caballo.
Certainly give Carlos the green light right here. Astros down 3. There's 2 outs in the inning. One big swing of the bat could make it a 1-run game. Looks like he was taking all the way there. Some hitters don't like to swing 3-0.
Yeah. Atlanta and Washington have been rained out in Washington. Washington's been occupying first place in the NL East for a few days. Line shot caught by Votto, and that was well hit for out number 3. No runs, no hits, a man stranded after 3. The Reds lead the Astros 3-0.
from this June, the Astros will celebrate the 1970s Rainbow Era as part of their 50th anniversary celebration. Join the Astros tomorrow, June 2nd, when they host the Reds, as 10,000 fans will receive a rainbow-style retro gym bag courtesy of Kroger. Root now and buy your tickets at Astros.com. And while we're going retro and talking 70s, I'm talking to one of my favorite guys who played for the Houston Astros back in the 60s and early 70s, Norm Miller. Actually, you're one of my favorite guys in any era.
Well, you are my favorite person on television. You know that.
Let's go.
We used to work together.
We did used to work together. We could go on for a long time with this interview, but let's start with what the Astros are doing here with these Flashback Fridays and going retro. Now, you never actually wore the rainbow jerseys. You were the shooting star guy, but what do you think of all this?
Well, I think it's great. I think that the fact that the Astros didn't have much history out there for a long time, and Jim Crane's a baseball guy, and he appreciates the history of the organization, and I think it's paid off. I think more fans are starting to get interested in the history of the game, which is good because it's been here a long time. 50 years is a long time, and I think what he's doing is great. The fans like it, and you see the people wearing the shirts, so something's working.
You know, we talk about history, and I know Norm's such a good storyteller, has so many stories. My favorite involves a hamstring, but we're not going to go there right now. But I do want you to talk about the early days at the Astrodome. You were used as a kind of a test pilot.
Yeah, I was a specialist. When we left spring training in 1965, I was earmarked to go to Amarillo. But they told me the night before you can go to the Astrodome for the opening. Big thrill for me at 18, 19 years old. And then a couple of days later, I found out the reason they invited me was they couldn't see the balls because of the roof. And they certainly were going to send Jimmy Wynn out there or some of the other outfielders. So they gave me my own helmet and said, go out there and catch fly balls until we can figure out how to make this place visible.
And your assessment?
Well, I couldn't see anything, and I took a lot for the club, and then they sent me to Amarillo, and, I made $500 a month with a lot of bruises. So.
The rest is history. What's your memory that stands out in your, you had so many, you were there for Hank Aaron's home run, but what stands out most for you?
Well, it's always going to be my first time up. It was a dream come true. I grew up in Southern California. My first time up was 18 years old in Dodger Stadium. 3-2 count, and I got a base hit, and I forgot to run, and I almost got thrown out at first base by Willie Davis. And then I shook the first baseman's hand, and then they gave me the steal sign, and I slid into second, and I shook Maury Wills' hand. Who knew if I was ever going to get back? Years later, those guys all became friends. And then you brought up big with Henry Aaron, lockering next to him the year he broke Babe Ruth's record. And I just went to Cooperstown recently, and that locker was there. And I had carved some things in it, and it's still there. And I sat in the locker, and I had this tears coming out of my eyes, and everybody wondered, what's wrong with this guy? And nobody would have believed me. I said, well, I used to locker next. And they go, yeah, Norm who? I still hear that a lot.
Norm who, and Norm, of course, wrote a book called Norm Who. Tell us what else you're doing now.
Well, I wrote the book a couple years ago, and it's still doing good. And I wrote a couple movies, but now I've actually written a play, not a baseball play. With a lady in Austin, and I'm real excited because we're going to go into rehearsal soon and do a reading next month in Austin, Texas. And today, I heard from a playhouse here in Houston. So who knows? Maybe I'll have a play on stage someday before I croak.
Well, very cool. I'm sure it'll be an awesome one. Well, thanks for stopping by and joining. You're also here with Johnny Edwards. So
yeah, my golf buddy.
Great to see all you guys back here together.
Yeah, it's great to be here. We love being here, Patty. Good seeing you.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Patty. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Ludwig. And he fouls it after Bruce was caught looking to open the 4th inning. 3-0 Reds. They've out-hit the Astros 4-2. Jay Happ struck out 10 in his last start in 6 1/3 innings, giving up just 2 earned runs at Dodger Stadium. That's off the end of the bat, and it dunks into right center field for a Ludwig looping single. Hit number 5 for Cincinnati.
Very important to do a self-evaluation when you're a pitcher. Know when you got away with mistakes, and also to realize when you got beat with a good pitch. And this was an instance where Jay threw a good 3-2 pitch. He didn't want to get anything Ludwig could jerk. He made a nice pitch down and away, and that's about all Ludwig could do with it, is hit it off the end of the bat to right field. Unfortunately for Jay, it fell in for a knock.
Frazier grounded out in the 2nd inning. And Frazier looks at ball 1. Frazier taking over at third for the injured Scott Rowland right now. There's a rain delay with Miami at Philadelphia. It's 2-1 Phillies. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Foul back, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. You all right, partner?
Man, it's kind of ironic that Frazier came up here, the guy who did the Heimlich in Pittsburgh.
And you almost needed him.
I'm choking on something.
Stop the game and get Frazier up here.
Run out.
1 ball, 1 strike. David Mesoraco is next. You can take a little break here.
I'm good.
Okay. 2 balls and a strike. You know, there was such a traffic jam on the Interstate 10 to Katy Freeway this afternoon. Brandon Lyon was among those caught in that. Katy East was caught in that. It took hours for some people to get here. Crazy Friday afternoon. Popped up. We were asking Brad Mills, who's on your worry list in the bullpen. He said, well, Brandon Lyon's not here yet. He's out on the Katy Freeway. We'll have to ask him when he gets here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Katy East made it. She was among those on I-10.
Hardy was hung out there for a while, too.
Yeah, Art Howe was there.
The truck overturned, apparently.
An 18-wheeler.
Wow.
That Miami club in a rain delay. Giancarlo Stanton hit 12 homers in the month of May. He's up there for Player of the Month honors.
He got my vote.
Yep, me too. 3-2.
Had a slugging percentage approaching 800 for the month.
Miami went 21-8 in May. That's a new franchise record for the most wins for that club in any month. Runner going. 1 hopper. Lowry gets it quickly to Altuve, and then the turn and the stretch by Lee, and he gets the double play. Altuve very quick, flashing across the bag because of pressure from Ludwig. The throw was up the right field line, but El Caballo kept a hoof on the bag, and it's a 6-4-3 double play.
Brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by Mattress Firm. Save money, sleep happy. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Now to the booth, Bill Brown and Jim DeShane.
Thank you, Greg. There is strike 1 to Chris Johnson leading it off here in the home 4th inning. Mike Leake and the Reds lead at 3-0. The Astros have 2 singles. They got 1 from Lee and 1 from Martinez in the second when they loaded the bases. CJ with a 2-hopper to Cozart. It's out number 1 for Leake. Leake 2-4 lifetime against Houston with a 4.76 ERA. His ERA at Minute Maid Park is 3.68. His last 3 starts, his earned run average is 2.55. Brian Bogusevic drew a walk in the second inning.
Johan Santana of the New York Mets has a no-hitter going against the Cardinals through 7 innings. Well, what a bounce back he has made.
Bad. Quicker than expected by many. Curveball, strike one to Bogey.
Bogey needs to hit one in the corner. A little extra base hit action here.
In tight, and it's 1-1. The Mets are 8-4 against the Cardinals at Citi Field since it opened. Redbirds will be here Tuesday through Thursday nights.
Working that cut fastball in on the left-handed hitters quite frequently tonight. And then he'll throw that little change up down and away, or two-seamer.
Rolled out to second. Brandon Phillips on over to Votto. 2 down. And it's J.D. Martinez. He singled to right in the second inning. Cleveland's in front of Minnesota. It's 7-1 Cleveland after 7 innings.
JD, happy to see this calendar flip from May to June. In the month of May, hit a $192, but improving lately. 250 on the road trip, went deep once. With another good swing, but he's going to be out.
Right at Cozart. And it's a 7-pitch inning. After 4, 3-0 Reds.
The game break. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Looking ahead to game 2 of the series tomorrow in the pitching matchup. Wandy Rodriguez against Matt Latos. Wandy, like everybody else that took the mound in Colorado, trying to bounce back from a rough start out there. Wandy's 4-4 on the year with a 2.49 ERA, but he allowed 7 runs, 4 of them earned in Colorado, and allowed a season-high 10 hits. He's already beaten the Reds once this year, though, at Great American Ballpark, so looking ahead to better things for Wandy. He'll be facing Matt Latos. That's your Mazda game break. Let's go back to the booth. Brownie and JD.
Thank you, Bart. Devin Mesoraco leads it off in the 5th. Fouls at strike one. Mesoraco hit a fly ball to right field in the second inning. Young catcher who's getting an extensive amount of playing time this season for the Reds. He's going to turn 24 in about 3 weeks. He was a first-round pick in 07. 15th player drafted that year from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. He bunts and fouls it. No balls, 2 strikes.
Not a bad idea. He had CJ back. If he keeps it fair, he probably has himself a base hit.
It's a good catching tandem with Ryan Hannigan catching the lion's share of the time for the Reds, but Mesoraco is a developing receiver. Leak is on deck. Bounced and Chris Johnson flags it down to his left. 1 out for half. And the way the Astros bullpen has been worked, if Happ can hang in this game for 7 innings, that would certainly be appreciated.
Well, he's had 66 pitches as he works here in the 5th.
Mike Leake is the batter. He struck out in the 2nd inning.
Jay due up the 2nd in the bottom of the 5th. Unless he gets into trouble here in this inning, I can't imagine that Mills would hit for him this early in the game.
Right.
So he's positioned to get through 7 or into the 7th anyway. He's trying to minimize the number of outs that bullpen has to get for you.
Leake looks at it, and it's ball 1. Leake has 33 hits over the last 3 seasons. He and Giovanni Gallardo are tied for the best by a major league pitcher. It's 2 balls and a strike. And Jeff Luna and Bobby Heck did not talk about specific players at the press conference regarding the upcoming draft Monday today. Talked in general terms. But a lot of the scouts will be in the room for that draft, and that's a change. Jeff wants their input. There will be some face-to-face comments before they make some of their picks from those scouts involved, the area scouts involving watching those players. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's the way they did it in St. Louis. They didn't just have the cross checkers in and the scouting director, but they brought in all the area scouts. And probably more valuable as you get later down in the draft. You get the input from those local guys, the big guys, the top guys. Everybody's seen them. Everybody's aware of who can do what.
That's a good point. Leake strikes out because what will happen, there's such an enormous amount of financial compensation involved, and they want to put 3, 4, 5 sets of eyes on the top guys. So, there will be an area scout involved in following him, probably if he's a pitcher, just about every start he makes, or extensively if he's a position player. And then Bobby Heck will come in. The cross checker will be there. The general manager will see him. Cozart fouls it for strike 1. And Jeff was joking with the media today. He said, well, we're not going to tell you who our pick is, and we don't really know as of right now. We have to spend this weekend talking about that.
You seem to have it narrowed down to about 5 guys.
Mm-hmm. No balls, 2 strikes.
Cozart helping to manufacture a run last time. The key play here, the ability to tag up on that fly ball to center and then get into scoring position, and then scoring on the Votto ground ball base hit.
Cozart this time does not make contact. That's strikeout number 5 for Jay Happ. Reds 3, Astros nothing in the 5th. Moment away. Time, first of all, for our AT&T trivia question. And here it is. Only 3 NL pitchers had more wins than J.R. Richards' 96. from 1975 through 80. Who were they? Only 3 in the National League. Think about that as Chris Snyder bats and fouls it, strike 1.
Hall of Famers all.
Oh. So people like maybe Tom Seaver, Steve Carlton. Let's see, Randy Jones probably had faded before that time, right?
Yeah, he's not a Hall of Famer.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jay Happ is on deck. Leak moves it away from Snyder. It's a 2 ball, 1 strike count. .298 batting average against Leak this season. 3-1, but tonight so far he's allowed 2 singles. Lee and Martinez in the second, and he's walked 2. No hitter through 7 for Santana of the Mets. Duda hit his 8th home run off Adam Wainwright of the Cardinals. It's 8-0 New York. Johan Santana has walked 4. He's fanned 6. He's thrown 107 pitches through 7 innings. Mets have not had a no-hitter.
It's amazing with all the great pitching they've had over the years.
Well, Seaver didn't pitch a no-hitter for them, but he did for the Reds. He might have pitched another one somewhere along the line. The White Sox. Popped up. Whoops, little dance between the home plate umpire Jim Joyce and Mesoraco. They bump chests, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I think Joyce is okay. The principle of verticality in play there, so I think he was all right. He's holding his ground.
Well, he was.
It's a good no call.
I was thinking charge on Mesoraco at first, but upon replay, I don't think so.
He was in that circle, so he was okay.
Bozar takes care of out number 1. And Jay Happ will try to start something here against Leak, who's in search of his 2nd win of the year. AT&T Trivia will tell us those 3 NL pitchers who had more wins than J.R. Richard. Carlton, Necro, and Seaver.
Ooh, what a group, huh?
Terrific trio.
116 for Carlton, Nuxie 103 and 102. Carlton was 116 wins, 64 losses in that stretch for a 644 winning percentage. And Seaver, then JR, then Don Sutton, Rick Russell, and then Bert Hooton, number 7 on that list.
Happ goes to a 1-1 count. He struck out with the bases loaded to end the Astros' 2nd inning. The Astros did plenty of hitting in Colorado. Different story tonight.
Well, this Leak outing is reminiscent of the Lucas Harrell game in Dodger Stadium, getting a ton of ground ball outs. He's not a strikeout pitcher. He had 31 strikeouts at 49 in the 3rd innings. Coming into this one, he has just 2 tonight. He caught Altuve looking and got Happ.
It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Even though the Astros were swept in that series in Colorado, they were in double figures in hits in every game. They wound up with 24 runs in the 4 games, 55 hits, 5 homers. Foul ball. Different venue here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals are batting in the top of the 8th against Johan Santana. We'll keep you abreast of developments at Citi Field in New York. Curveball struck him out. Strikeout number 3. We go to Greg.
And let's take a look at our Farmers Insurance report card. This one goes back a few years to our honored guest of the evening, J.R. Richard. In 1979, he went 18-13 in 38 starts, 19 complete games, a stretch of 9 straight. You only go 18-13 with those numbers if you don't get a whole lot of offense, but he was solid. Our report card presented by Farmers Insurance.
How durable was that man? Now with 2 outs, it's Jordan Schaefer. Schaefer hit a fly ball to right, grounded out to first. Showing bunt. Jordan takes ball 1 on a curve. Astros are actually averaging just a little bit higher in runs per game than the Reds this year. Fraction. 2 balls, no strikes. The Reds' .560 winning percentage is the lowest for any division leader in the major leagues right now. Frazier's on the grass at third. 2-1 to Schaefer, who's on a 5-game hitting streak. Yankees lead at Detroit 6-3, bottom of the 7th inning. Curtis Granderson hit his 17th. Sabathia on the mound. Bunted foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And it's a challenge to get a butt base hit against this group with Frazier as tight as he is. Leake being such a good athlete. Phillips tremendous out there at second base. So you got to get a real good bunt down. Somewhat questionable strategy trying to bunt with 2 outs in the inning. Normally you're looking for extra bases, but Schaefer probably figuring if he can bunt and steal a base, he's as good as hitting a double.
Strike 3 call. Strikeout number 4 for Leake. He's sent down 7 straight, and he leads it 3-0.
Maddie in the top of the 6th, and joining me is social media director for the Houston Astros, Allison Footer and Terry Slather. We are up here in one of the suites because, Allison, there's a bunch of bloggers up here. Tell us a little bit about this. This is so cool. Everybody's got their laptops. A lot of information going on up here.
Yes, Houston has a lot of blogs that are centric toward the Astros. A lot of people that are writing about the team that have very strong opinions about the team. We read them every day, so we thought it'd be fun to have them out. We had Jeff Luhnow come out and talk to them for about a half an hour before the game, and to just kind of give them some information, let them ask some questions of Jeff, give them some insight to the team, and then, give them some food and drinks and let them blog away.
Well, and it's kind of cool, something that, a lot of people, and I never really thought about, these bloggers have so much information, so much to share, but really limited access. So this is a way of, as you said, bringing Jeff in and bringing them and the team together.
Right, and we had some of them out at FanFest, and we had Brad Mills meet with them and 2 of our players, and we want to give them access without stepping on the toes of the credentialed media. So there's kind of that fine line. But certainly they're very informed. They're very passionate about the team. They pay attention. They really do form thoughtful opinions, and we want to definitely bring them into the fold some way.
And Terry, you tell us a little bit about, we got some celebrity bloggers up here, some well-known ones. Tell us a little bit about some of the people up here and how much this means to you guys.
Well, we have a pretty tight-knit community on Twitter. We all talk and get along and share information, support each other. But we have bloggers here from Astros County and the Crawfish Boxes, Climbing Towels Hill.
What the Heck, Bobby?
What the Heck, Bobby, which is all miners blog, which is really fun to have. Am I missing anybody? There's several others, but
what about your own?
Oh, and Tales from the Juice Box.
All right, well, there's just a few of them for you guys. Make sure to check out the bloggers. As I said, chock full of information and don't always get the access. So kind of a cool little thing going on up here. Thanks so much, Allison.
Thank you, Patty.
Guys.
And Allison tomorrow night has social media night coming up out in the Budweiser patio. Thank you, Patty. Good play by Altuve there on the slow bouncer by Votto. Came in and off balance. A very strong throw to get Joey. Meanwhile, Jay Happ has thrown 17 of 21 first pitch strikes. Phillips had the RBI double and bounced into a double play.
Astros are pitching well tonight. They're playing well defensively. They just can't get anything going with the bats. Meatloaf said 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but so far tonight 2 out of 3 ain't good enough.
That's strike one to Phillips. No hitter through 8 for Santana of the Mets. 8-0 Mets, bottom of the 8th inning. Getting exciting at Citi Field.
They had a number of guys that went on to get no hitters, as Brownie mentioned. Seaver did it after leaving the Mets. Dwight Gooden, David Cone, of course.
Phillips takes, and it's a ball for a 1-1 count.
Nolan got 7 of them after he left New York. Mike Scott.
Well, big cut by Phillips. It's 1-2. Chris Johnson will make his appearance tomorrow night in the Budweiser patio as a part of social media night. Chris will also be signing autographs for free at the team store at Union Station lobby from 1 to 2 tomorrow. Phillips strikes out. That's number 6. Happ needs only 9 pitches to negotiate the 6th inning, and it's 3-0 Reds. Showing you one of 2 double plays in the game. Ludwig was running on the pitch. Here's the shot to shortstop, and Altuve really got out of his way. Then Carlos Lee fielded the one-hop throw at first for the double play on Frazier.
Just nice evasive action there by Altuve. It's the second baseman who's usually the guy who's going to get upended on a double play, not the shortstop when it's going the other way, because he has a clear view of where the base runner is.
Altuve bangs a line drive over Frazier. Hit number 64 of the year. Altuve's 5th in the league in hits. Started the night at 317. Stayed right on that breaking ball.
Sure did. Rifles that line drive single to left field. Second time tonight the Astros have had a leadoff man aboard. Put some pressure on Leake in the second inning, loading the bases with just 1 out. But couldn't cash in.
Time called. Altuve running over, tying his shoe at first. He's ready to go.
Yeah, happy birthday shout out to Sean Bertani of the Astros marketing department, celebrating a birthday today.
Didn't know that. You get all the scoops. Lowry with a fly ball to right and a walk. Well, how about a come from behind win for Sean? Sean came from the St. Louis Cardinals to Houston. Cardinals do not have a hit tonight through 8. And the Astros have 3 singles through 5+ against Leake. Lowry try to get something going here with Altuve at first. Bangs one into right field. Altuve runs hard around second. Here's the Jay Bruce strong arm. Not in time. First and third, nobody out as Lowry connects.
Yeah, you got to be careful taking an extra base on Jay Bruce. He has one of the best arms in the league. But Altuve, after having to slam on the brakes to let this ground ball get through, went for it and made it. A little hesitation there. Takes one more peek to find where Bruce is. Figures he's got a shot at it. And in safely. The ability to stop and then start so quickly. Paying off for the little guy.
Boy, you saw it there, didn't you? Yeah, wait for that ball to clear in front of him. Carlos Lee with a high chopper. Phillips with the toss. And there's Cozart. And the stretch by Votto. Double play as the run scores. And that makes it 3-1, but the Reds get 2 outs.
A trade they will gladly take to clean up what could have been a big inning. So you see the handshakes in the Astros dugout, but nobody in there all that thrilled with the result of this play. Slow developing play, if you will, as Cozart catches the ball and then turns all the way back around the other way to get into position to make that throw. In so doing, I didn't think he was going to get Carlos, but was able to get him by just a little bit down there at first.
Chris Johnson takes ball 1. Chris 0 for 2. Now Lee grounded into a double play last night that scored a run. That's the 3rd he's hit into this year. CJ must not have seen that spin on the ball, and it's no ball, or 1 ball 1 strike rather. Clay Buchholz, who has tremendous career numbers in Toronto, has the lead for Boston 7-2 at Rogers Center after 7. A ball and 2 strikes. Good Friday night at Minute Maid Park. A welcome back crowd. Tomorrow night a 6:15 start. We take that one off as Tom Brenneman and Tom Verducci work on Channel 26 in Houston. And we're back at them on Sunday. And we don't know yet who will start that game for the Astros. It'll be Bronson Arroyo with a 3.59 ERA for the Reds. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul back. Problem with playing the Reds and trying to beat them in a come from behind fashion is their bullpen. The best ERA in the National League, and especially looming out there their closer Aroldis Chapman. And he has been dominant this year.
So you're suggesting the Astros get something done in a hurry here?
Yes. Now would be good.
Now's good.
Bogusevic is on deck. 85 pitches for Leake. And he gets a strikeout. Double play and a strikeout for Leake. First and third, nobody out. He limits the damage to 1 run on 2 hits. He leads it 3-1 after 6.
brought to you by Hyundai. If it's fuel efficient, affordable, stylish, and safe, it's probably a Hyundai. And by AT&T. Rethink possible. The Astros only down by a pair. It's possible. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies in the booth.
Oh, it's quite in the realm of possibility, Greg. 3-1 ball game. 5 hits for the Reds, 4 for the Astros. No errors tonight. A lot of snow cones. And other various delights in the stands being consumed. Jay Happ works to Jay Bruce. Bruce had an RBI single his first time up. There's strike one as Happ begins his 7th inning. And he could be leaving for a pinch hitter in the bottom half. The Astros would need to put a man on base for Happ's spot to come up.
It's a game plan. Post to 0 here. Let somebody hit for you in the bottom of the half and drive in the go-ahead run, and then you pick up a W. That'd be a good night's work.
He's only thrown 86 pitches, 59 being strikes. In New York, Matt Holliday's up in the 9th inning. He lined out. It's out number 1 for Johan Santana in pursuit of a no-hitter.
There's been one so far this year. Weaver threw one, right?
Right.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Verlander came close.
Well, we had the perfect game by Philip Umber.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Pitch outside makes it 1-2. Now it's Alan Craig batting for the Cardinals in St. Louis. Reds will be peeking at that scoreboard a little bit. Too early for scoreboard watching. He struck him out. That's number 7. Well, we promised earlier in the game Miller time. It's brought to you by Miller Lite, and it shows you Jay Happ rolling through some of the Reds hitters tonight.
He's having a real nice night. A couple of big 2-out hits by the Reds in the first, providing a couple of runs. But he's been very, very good. He was good last time out against the Dodgers with 10 punch-outs. Very similar outing here tonight, keeping that fastball down, then elevating with 2 strikes to get some swings and misses.
Good plan.
Curveball has been sharp.
Ludwig with ball 1 is up for the 3rd time. He's 1 for 2. Very good pitching line for Happ. It's 2-0 with Frazier on deck. Ball 3.
Change up, cut on him, move down, and that's a dangerous pitch to throw right-handed power hitter. He's trying to throw a little change up, fade it down and away, and sometimes your hand rolls over on it and it has a little cutting action.
That's a walk. 8 in a row had been set down until the base on balls. That's number 2 of the night for Happ.
Well, once he got behind, he didn't want to give any. Through 2-0 changeup, then a 3-0 fastball, but missed.
Alan Craig hit a fly ball that was caught. 2 outs in the Cardinal 9th inning. David Freese, the batter, against Johan Santana. 1 out away from a no-hitter. Doug Brocail out to chat. Frazier the batter. Frazier has hit the ball on the ground both times.
So that's the video we got to find, right? Of the home run he had a few days ago where he was letting go of the bat when he made contact and went deep.
I did see it. Did you?
Yeah.
Maybe we can get that.
Yeah. It's worth looking at again.
Oh, spectacular stuff. Jay missing there, and it's a 2-ball no strike count with Mesoraco on deck. Wilton Lopez is warming up for the Astros. He did not pitch last night, and he was certainly in the minority as the Astros used 7 pitchers. 2 balls, 1 strike. Wilton getting loose. 96 pitches for Happ. David Freese has a 3-2 count in the 9th inning against Santana. In the air to right, Bogusevic backing on it. on the track for the catch. 2 down. It's a no-hitter for Johan Santana of the New York Mets, the first in their history. First against the Cardinals since '90.
This is a tremendous comeback from Santana. Shoulder surgery. And they're on their feet at Citi Field. Of course, the changeup.
That's the signature pitch of Santana, product of the Astros farm system. From their Venezuelan academy. Strike to Mesoraco. He's 0 for 2.
Lost them to the Twins in the Rule 5 draft.
Mike Leake is on deck. Logan Ondrusek is warming up for the Reds, a right-hander. No balls, 2 strikes for Happ.
Well, you talked about the Reds bullpen and Chapman being the lead dog out there, but Ondrusek has had a heck of a year as well.
He really has. And they're missing Nick Massett right now. He's on the disabled list. They appeal to first, check swing call.
Wow.
Jim Reynolds.
Snyder trying to influence Reynolds a little bit. Starting to walk off the field, and the body language of Mesoraco leads you to believe that he thought he went far enough too.
Yep.
Watch the reaction from Mesoraco. Rats. I'm out. No, you're not.
Soft pop. Altuve underneath to end the Reds' 7th. No runs, no hits. They haven't had a hit since the 4th, but they lead 3-1.
The 3-1. But here's something fun. You can join the Astros for a bike to the ballpark this Sunday. Enjoy a 5 or 10 mile course to Minute Maid Park, as well as complimentary bike valet here at the ballpark. It's a 105 game. Day of game registration is available at the starting locations. For all that information, go to the website astros.com/bike. So you could ride your bike to the ballpark, and that would justify all the grub you would eat when you got inside. You could do an extra dog and throw a little chili on there, and
you have a right to play catch up.
Have some Brian Caswell sliders.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe a root beer float.
Brian Bogusevic is 0 for 1 with a walk. Did they name that hanging slider for you?
I don't know if that. I think it's in production. I think they're still trying to get the ingredients just right.
Jose Arredondo's warming up, a right-hander. The count goes to 1-1 on Bogusevic. Martinez and Snyder to follow in the Astros 7th. Leake has thrown 88 pitches. Brandon Phillips, the Gold Glover, over to Joey Votto, the Gold Glover. 1 out.
Deja vu all over again for Bogey, who's bounced out twice to second base now, last 2 times after a walk in the 2nd. Or Leake is keeping the ball on the ground. My goodness.
Arredondo working. Martinez has a single and a ground out. $11 ground ball outs for Leake. He struck out 5. Leake has pitched several fine games against the Astros. Bouncer goes foul. Let's see, he went 7 innings, gave up 1 run the first time he faced them in Houston in April of 2010. 6 scoreless innings in his 2nd start that year against the Astros in Cincinnati. A lot of hustle out there, and ooh, down to the elbows for the play.
Yeah, he owes his buddy a beer because his buddy lost his beer saving him.
Yeah. And he'll be going to the medicine cabinet for some Band-Aids for the scrapes on the elbows. It's worth it. Foul ball off the mask of Mesoraco.
Not the swing you're looking for. 3 balls, 1 strike. Got fooled by the cut fastball. A lot of ground ball outs for Leake tonight. A couple of fly balls in the 1st inning. Only a couple since.
He throws ball 4. Martinez draws his 24th walk of the year. It's the 3rd walk of the night for Leake. Short of 100 pitches. Justin Maxwell is on deck. Chris Snyder coming up. Snyder's hit the ball on the ground both times. Now Leake was facing Snyder with the bases loaded, 1 out in the 2nd. He got Snyder on that broken bat to ground to Votto, who threw to the plate for the force on Lee, and then Happ struck out. There's ball 1. Travis Buck would be normally considered as a left-handed pinch hitter. He's having heel problems. It's a bothersome heel. 98 pitches now for Leake. In the air, but foul. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Tailgating tomorrow. Lot C outside the ballpark, and then of course all the usual festivities here. There is Justin Maxwell.
You know, that would be a good little graduation gift or a pre-Father's Day gift. Bring somebody out to the ballpark, do a little tailgating.
Go to social media night. Well, you could get here at 1 o'clock and get a free autograph from Chris Johnson. Do a little tailgating. When does that start? 3 o'clock maybe?
I think so.
Yeah, 3 o'clock, and then social media night. Get here early for that. During batting practice, you get a chance to follow Allison Footer down on the field. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, 3 to 6, the tailgating event tomorrow in Lot C.
Okay.
Rocco out there to have a chat with Leake. Chris Snyder, obviously a big, strong guy, capable of tying this game, and he put a pretty good swing on that breaking ball. And Mesoraco wanted to get together with Leake, pitch away from his strength.
Snyder rips one, but it's foul.
It worked so well. Didn't get much lift on it, but put a good swing on it, trying to throw a breaking ball away, and that one just sat there in the zone. He's gotten away with a couple here in this sequence.
You see that guy with Platinum Security?
No.
He's been lifting. Put the thumbs up. Everybody's all right down there. That fella's been in the gym. 2-2 the count.
She must be very important. She's got her own security guard down there.
Snyder went for it and struck out. 2 outs. It's number 6 for Leake. And now it'll be Maxwell pinch hitting for Happ. Good job tonight for Jay. 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs allowed, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts.
An outstanding performance, and certainly can make a case that it should have been a 1-2-3 first inning. It looked like he had Joey Votto punched out on that 0-2 pitch. And it was after that they got their 2 runs. But, you know, like I said, borderline calls. Sometimes they go your way, sometimes they don't. You have to shut people down. He just didn't get the run support tonight, but he can feel good about his effort.
Meanwhile, they meet at the mound with pitching coach Brian Price. Justin Maxwell is the subject of this conversation, probably. J-Max had a nice series in Colorado, 4 for 7 with a homer, 3 runs batted in. He's done a fine job pinch hitting. In fact, he's been used more often than any other Astro pinch hitter. He is 5 for 18, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in.
A home run he hit in Colorado should have been worth 3 runs. He crushed it. It was way up there.
The attendance tonight is 21,464. That's people in the ballpark. Maxwell, representing the potential tying run, is one of 2 players in the majors with 2 pinch hit homers. Schaefer on deck. He looks at ball 1.
I'm sure what Brian Price had to say to Mike Leake was, look, this guy's a dangerous hitter. You try to stay away. See if you can chase that breaking ball off the corner.
Maxwell facing Leake for the first time in his career. 2 balls, no strikes. Justin has drawn 9 walks. He's had 69 at bats.
You like to turn it loose right here. If he throws you a cookie, by all means let it fly, but make sure you get a strike.
3-1 Reds.
See, it's interesting that you watch a pitcher all night long, and Leake for the most part has been able to command the strike zone, but now he's worked so hard to get this 3-run lead. He's working in the 7th inning. He knows one mistake and boom, it's all gone. He's looking at a no decision, so he's very wary of the strike zone with first Snyder and then Maxwell. He finished off Snyder out of the zone. And even on 3-0, he throws a little cutter. He hasn't thrown a straight fastball tonight. It's some kind of a runner, cutter, sinker.
He's over 100 pitches. 105. Happ through 101. 66 for strikes for Jay.
A lot of fastballs, but not straight fastballs. Not the typical 4-seam. It's you know, like I said, he's manipulating all of his fastballs, either cutting them or sinking them.
Dave Clark has been lonely tonight.
Astros as a team still very good in pinch hit situations, hitting .284. Major league average is .212.
3-2, 2 outs. The runner going, and it's strike 3. 7 strikeout for Leake. That ends the 7th inning with the Reds up 3-1.
Chevy's proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. Tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Let's take a look at the game summary. There's only been 4 runs. Phillips in the first inning with an RBI double, and Bruce with a single, making it 2-0. Joey Votto's single in the third inning made it 3-0. The Astros got on the board. Bases loaded. Best they could get was a run on a double play ball hit by Lee, but that's where we stand, 3-1 as the game moves on to the 8th.
And a new pitcher in the game, Wilton Lopez, 3-0 with a 2.28 ERA. 15 games in May, yielding good results for Wilton, making his 28th appearance and his first since Game 2 of the doubleheader Monday. And the pinch hitter is Mike Costanzo. He was promoted from AAA Louisville May 12th. 1 for 15, but 2 runs batted in. 28 years old from Springfield, PA.
Cosmo Kramer's on deck. He used to be in the Astro system.
Mike Costanzo.
And, came from the Phillies, right? The Bourne deal, and then he went to Baltimore in the Tejada deal.
Yep. He's been bouncing around. Purchased from the Atlantic League last year by the Reds. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Costanzo. Last year he divided between AA Carolina and AAA Louisville.
15 at bats so far, 10 of them as a pinch hitter. 0 for so far as a pinch hitter. 0 for 11 now in the pinch.
He was the left-handed hitter on the bench for Dusty Baker.
I'm surprised that Dusty just didn't let Leake take that at bat as soon as he swings the bat.
Well, he's probably a better hitter.
Costanzo's his only left-handed bat.
Yeah, whether he's going to pitch again or not, Leake can hit. Now there's strike 1 to Cozart. Cozart 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Mike Leake in 7 innings allowed just 4 hits and 1 run. He walked 3 and fanned 7. Broken bat. Lopez over to backhand and get him as the barrel of the bat winds up out around shortstop. 2 outs.
Now he just needs a weak pop up to the catcher to have the pitching trifecta. Abuse the guy with a punch out, shatter the next guy's bat. A great movement on the changeup to Costanza. Now this runner in on the thumbs shatters the bat. Stays with the play.
Very nice for Wilton. He was wearing his Regulators t-shirt last night. Drew Stubbs is 0 for 3. Weak ground ball. Chris Johnson. Boy. Yeah, that's good enough to make your point. He was dominant with a 7-pitch 8th inning. 3-1 Reds.
Center, making cancer history. We go back to 1979. Our featured guest to the ball club today, J.R. Richard, went the distance, striking out 8, walking 2. 3-2 victory over the Expos, while Terry Poole went 3 for 4 with a home run and a triple. This moment in history brought to you by M.D. Anderson.
It's 3-1. The Reds lead it. Bottom of the 8th coming. Logan Andrusek, the big 6'7" right-hander from Shiner, Texas, and McLennan Community College, comes in with the 2-run lead.
Dusty Baker has his way. It'll be Andrusek for the 8th. Aroldis Chapman for the 9th, more than likely. 24 times he's gone out there. 3-1, 2.53 ERA for the big right-hander. League hitting just .211 against him. Reds bullpen has an ERA of 2.39. That's the best in the National League. Fastball, cut fastball, curveball, and a split finger pitch. There's what the Astros will see from Logan.
Logan has pitched twice, 2 innings, no hits, no runs against Houston this year. And there is strike 1 to Jordan Schaefer. Schaefer's 0 for 3. 5-game hitting streak on the line for Schaefer. Altuve and Lowry to follow in the 8th. Andrusek has both of his career saves this season. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And they've gone through different phases in Dusty Baker's bullpen with Aroldis Chapman, the current closer. Sean Marshall earlier. Bounced that off the glove of Frazier. Goes out to Cozart. Cozart cannot get Schaefer, and he's got an infield hit to give him a 6-game hitting streak. That ball was on Frazier quickly and got a glove on it, but it slowed it down for Cozart.
Frazier in there tight, basically daring Schaefer to try to drive it by him, and Schaefer took the challenge, hit it hard. Frazier got leather on it enough to slow it down, but Cozart had no play.
Mike Leake threw 108 pitches, 61 were strikes. Here's Altuve now. He's 1 for 3. Opponents are hitting only 200 against the Reds bullpen coming into this game. One hopper. Frazier going to second for the force. Phillips, no double play. 1 out, going from 5 to 4.
Astros just have not been able to get the ball in the air. They're rolling over on that one a little bit. Frazier gets the lead out. Phillips probably didn't need to make that throw. High bounding ball to third. He's got to know there's no way he's going to get Altuve unless he blows something out going down the line.
Yeah. Altuve at first. Lowry the batter. Jed has a walk and a single to right. He got that single when Altuve was at first. Hit the ground ball right in front of Altuve. He then went to third on it. Jed takes a look at ball 1. Andrusek worked 66 times last year for Dusty Baker. Winning 5, losing 5, and he had some time on the disabled list with a strained right forearm.
Here's a guy who can get the ball in the air. I'll try to throw him a sinker here.
Lowry takes ball 2. Carlos Lee on deck.
Crowd has not had a whole lot to cheer about tonight. Big pitch coming here.
Lowry takes it. It's ball 3. 3-0.
I'd turn him loose. He's the Astros' best home run threat these days.
Yeah. A 4-pitch walk brings up Carlos Lee with runners at first and second and 1 out now.
Follow the Astros with the MLB.com at Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details.
Carlos Lee is 1 for 3. He bounced into a double play, and the Astros run scored on that in the 6th inning. Strike to El Caballo, but he didn't think so. Andrusek was drafted in 2005 in the 13th round. He's panned out very well. Got his first major league win here at Houston in 2010. That was up there, and Carlos got out in front of it and whacked it foul.
Was that a hanger?
It sure was.
That one just sat there and said, "Go ahead, hit me hard."
Oh, right there.
Yeah, right. Just out over the plate just a little bit more. Astros have a lead.
Red Myers warming up for Houston now. Little chop. Phillips comes in. Ooh, there's the tag. But Carlos is coming up lame, and he's limping, and it's a double play. Well, the base runner Lowry did a good job. He was trying to buy Lee time by forcing Phillips to come after him and tag him, but Lee had broken down. So he hits into his second double play of the night, and it's 3-1 Reds after 8. First replay. We take a look back at the double play for the Astros. Chris Johnson gets it onto Altuve, and then on to Carlos Lee for one of the 2 Astros double plays. The Reds also have turned a couple, and the last one very costly as Carlos Lee had to leave the game with an apparent leg injury. So the Astros have made changes now with Lee departing the lineup, and they have a new pitcher in the game as well. Chris Johnson has moved across the diamond from third base to first base. Marwin Gonzalez has come in to play third base. Gonzalez batting in the 9 spot in the lineup, and the pitcher is Wesley Wright. He takes over Carlos Lee's number 4 spot in the order with an 0-1 record at 2.57 ERA.
2 of the 3 hitters scheduled to bat in this inning are left-handed, and pretty darn good ones too. And Votto and Bruce will then follow Phillips. So Wesley Wright gets the call from the pen, and the Cuban Missile warms up for the Reds in their bullpen.
Votto 1 for 6 against Wright. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. And there is a Aroldis Chapman, who has been throwing faster than he's been driving lately.
And that's saying something.
It really is, because he was pulled over for driving 93. Two balls and a strike. David Price and the Rays beat Baltimore 5-0 in Tampa Bay.
I think if Chapman's agent was smart, instead of paying that big ticket for that, that fine for that ticket, he would have Chapman do a spot, a community service message, and tying in the speeding with the fastball kind of.
Phillips on deck. Yeah, that could be done. That'd be very effective. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No red has reached second base since the third inning. Wilton Lopez had a 1-2-3-8 with a strikeout. Each club with 5 hits. It's 3-2 for Wesley. And like many of the Astros relievers, he has had a heavy workload, including an inning last night, giving up a hit and a walk. Pitched both games of the doubleheader Monday, and you've got to love the Sox.
I love the old school, wearing the stirrups, blouse in the pants.
That's good stuff.
As best he can.
Flick foul. Still 3-2 to Votto, and that's what Votto does so well. He stays alive.
Well, flipping this ground ball and then trying to beat the wrap, and busted down the line. And he has a blowout. And an unfortunate double play and an unfortunate trip to the training room for Carlos.
Like the left leg, the one he wasn't putting weight on. Foul tip, and Votto's down on strikes. It's out number 1. And Doug Brocail heads for the mound. Phillips up next. Phillips with an RBI double in the 2-run first.
Low cheddar there from Wesley. Votto's done the damage. 2-out single to get it started in the first. RBI single in the third.
Phillips then sent him home after his first inning single with that double to left center off the wall. And he grounded into a double play and he struck out. In the dirt, ball 1. Aroldis Chapman's numbers are absolutely ridiculous this year. An ERA of 0, 4 wins, no losses, 3 saves, 26 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, no earned runs, 8 walks, 44 strikeouts, a batting average of .081.
Numbers that would impress even J.R. Richard. Hey, did you see this? The Buxton kid that may or may not be the number 1 pick in the draft. Everybody figures he's going to be in the top 3 or 4 guys to go. The high schooler from Atlanta, and he's an outfielder.
Right.
But he also pitches for his high school team, and he struck out 18 in the state championship game in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that today?
I don't know. Today, yesterday, day before, sometime in the last couple of days.
Wow.
He throws 99 miles an hour. And apparently, or at least he's been clocked as high as 99.
Yeah. Byron Buxton.
He just does that because they need a pitcher. He likes to play the outfield.
Well, if it doesn't work out.
It's just unbelievable the stories you hear about that kid.
You could be getting 2 shots at a major league player if you draft him. I know he doesn't want to pitch from what we've read. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Not a bad fallback position, JD.
Yeah. Well, and that just, for the brotherhood of pitchers, it's so frustrating because not many of us could throw 99 miles an hour. I mean, 89 on a good day, I'd be thrilled with that.
Yeah.
This kid throws 99, but he doesn't want to pitch.
I can just see his agent and the way he's going to spin those negotiations. Well, you've got 2 shots at an outstanding major league player here. Or he could do both for you. Out the shortstop. Lowry backs up to get the hop, and then he steps into that throw. 2 outs.
Well, Dave Winfield, huh? When he was a pitcher in college.
True. Well done by Lowry. Now it's Bruce. Bruce 1 for 3, an RBI single. The Astros have Johnson, Bogasevic, and Martinez due up in the bottom of the 9th.
What a difference between this game tonight and what we just witnessed in that series in Colorado, when there was nothing but base runners and balls flying all over the diamond.
Yes.
And there's probably been more 1, 2, 3 innings in this game than there were in that entire 4-game series.
Oh yeah. We'll check, but
just go with it.
Let's roll with it, JD.
Yeah. Let's just say it is.
That's the way we roll.
And then force somebody else to check us on it.
All right.
That's why we qualify every statement with, well, it's probably, it's likely. There's a good chance that.
There have been 7 so far in this game.
There were probably more than that in that series, but Not too many more.
4 last night. That's shocking. Line drive right field and deep, and that one reaches the seats. Home run, Jay Bruce, who loves to come back to Minute Maid Park and close to his home of Beaumont. Rip the ball. That's number 12 of the year, giving him 34 runs batted in.
Leslie Wright has not given up many hits against left-handed hitters, let alone home runs. But Jay Bruce seems to save his best against his hometown team.
He's homered in all 4 games between the Reds and the Astros this season.
That was a laser beam right there.
It's his 15th career homer against the Astros. He's 25 years old. Now Ryan Ludwig with ball 1.
And the last thing Chapman needs is any more working room. Line drive rocket off the bat of Jay Bruce. Bogasevic getting back there, positioning himself to handle a carom that never came his way.
Fouled away, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Now, Bruce hit 32 homers last year. He's had 4 straight years of 20 or more, already with 12. Just short of the 1/3 mark of the season. So on a very nice home run pace. Bruce became the 3rd youngest Red to reach 100 homers. All the way, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
First home run Wesley has allowed this year. Working in his 15th inning. Clocked it down in the truck. It was 3.5 seconds for that ball to get out of the ballpark.
Ground ball, and Marwin Gonzalez gets it over to Chris Johnson. The Bruce homer gives an additional pad to the Reds' lead, with Aroldis Chapman looking to come in. 4-1 Reds.
Brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. And needless to say, Brownie, a hard thrower has come on the pitch for the Reds.
24-year-old Aroldis Chapman from Cuba has been a sensation as the closer for the Reds. Last year, he had a 3.60 ERA. This year, his ERA is 0 for his first 21 appearances, with 4 wins, no losses, 3 saves, and 4 attempts.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter lefty righty. He's so tough on everybody. He's the kind of guy that People make a special trip to the ballpark and hope he gets in the game. I mean, it's tough when you're the home team because you know if he's in the game, it's likely to try to close you out. And the home team is down, but still, fans love to watch this guy.
He has set a franchise record with 21 appearances without allowing an earned run to begin a season. John Hudek has a previous mark, 18 appearances to begin the 98 season without giving up an earned run. Chapman had one major league save prior to this season.
And if you can believe it, he's learned to take a little off at times to find the strike zone.
Ooh.
His average velocity in 2010 was 99 miles an hour. Average velocity. Now he's averaging just a little under 97.
Strike to Chris Johnson, who's 0 for 3. Ryan Madsen was signed as a free agent in February to be the Reds closer, but he had to go down with Tommy John surgery before the season started. Then Sean Marshall was the closer. And now Chapman. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Reds had Chapman starting in spring training, and that probably will be his eventual destination. Strike 1 and 2.
99 miles an hour there. He throws his fastball a high percentage of the time, better than 85%. He'll mix in the occasional slider.
He gets strikeout number 1.
Triple digits.
And the crowd is buzzing over that one. Matt Downs coming up to pinch hit for Bogusevic now.
You might have gotten that one by Vinny Castilla. That was Vinny's line. Now, if you're not reaching triple digits, you're not going to get it by me.
Downs just picked up his first pinch hit of the season last night in Colorado. After starting 0 for 16, there's ball 1 to Matt. Very good fastball hitter, 154, 3 homers, 6 runs batted in for Matt. 1 for 13 pinch hitting. It was 0 for 12, I guess, before last night instead of 0 for 16. 1 and 1. One ball, 2 strikes. There was an announcement on Carlos Lee's injury, strained left hamstring. J.D. Martinez on deck. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Chapman has faced 97 batters this year, struck out 45 of them.
Make it 46.
46 for 98.
He has been some kind of weapon in protecting leads. Two outs. That's a total of 9 strikeouts for Reds pitching tonight. It's J.D. Martinez batting. He has a single and a walk tonight.
Obviously, you go up there against a guy like Chapman, you're not looking for anything but the fastball. You just got to find a way to be quick, just shorten the stroke.
With ball 1. Chapman's last outing was Monday. He's throwing 100, very well rested. It's 1 and 1 to J.D.
It's kind of fitting that on the night that we honor J.R. Richard at the ballpark that Chapman comes in.
Yeah. It's 1 and 2.
Chapman a big guy, but nowhere near as imposing a figure as J.R. Richard was in his day. But that fastball sure is every bit as imposing.
Yes. He's listed at 6'4". And he strikes out the side to end this game. Aroldis Chapman, absolutely dominant to open the season, extends his club record without allowing an earned run to open the season, and the Reds win it 4-1. Mike Leake the winner, Jay Happ the loser. The Astros now have lost 7 in a row. The Reds have won 10 of their last 13. 4-1 final tonight.